Well, hello again, football fans. James Sharman here with you for some fast money football. Coming off a week where the team that let me down was Bayern Munich. Yeah, they actually lost last weekend, which so rarely happens. I'm going to boycott them this week. They're dead to me, okay? The Premier League returns, though, after the FA Cup break, so there'll be less romance this week, but still money to win. Now, if only we had some recent data to help make sense of Aston Villa against Manchester United. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we do, right? Yeah. They met in the FA Cup on Monday, and United won 1-0. But that belied the nuances of the match. To use football verbiage, Villa bossed United. They hit the woodwork twice, had 2 goals disallowed, and were denied several times by David De Gea, who just might be having the best season of anyone in the Prem. And without him, United would be playing already non-league football. United just aren't very good right now, but somehow often find a way to grab points. But at plus 200, you cannot ignore Villa to exact revenge this weekend, even if its shiny new star signing, Philippe Coutinho, is not quite match fit. As a bench presence, he could be a difference maker still. Heck, a draw at plus 240 is also juicy, but just don't bet on United. All right, moving on now. It's foolhardy, I know, at best to ever bet against ManCity, especially as they're riding an 11-match win streak in the Prem. But when you see a plus 400 beside Chelsea's name, you must take notice, as Chelsea really is the one team that seems to have figured out City, beating City in the FA Cup semis and the Champions League final, as Pep Guardiola was guilty of one of those overthinking issues sometimes he's prone to. City hung on for a tight 1-0 win earlier this season, mind you, but at some point, this brilliant winning run must come to an end. Chelsea know that a loss, and there's a basically insurmountable 13-point lead for City. So yeah, this is Chelsea's to win. All right, over now to the African Cup of Nations, which is so fun because literally anything can happen. As we saw this week, when in the Mali-Tunisia match, the referee blew for full time on 85 minutes. Then, after realizing his mistake, restarted the match and then blew full time again, a few seconds shy of the full 90. Oh, and in between the 2 final whistles, he sent off a player for basically nothing. It's a shame. This is always a brilliant tournament, but that doesn't need scandal, but scandal seems to follow it. So buyer beware when betting on these games. That said, GuineaBissau versus Egypt is interesting. Both teams are in must-win situations, having lost their first matches. Now, Egypt is one of the pre-20 faves, while GuineaBissau is ranked 106th in the world. Egypt are going to win this, but in a tournament that has been really craving some creativity, both sides to score at plus 200 looks pretty good, especially with the tournament star man, Mo Salah, looking to bounce back from a slow start, and Guinea star in the making, Pele, they're going to make amends from a penalty miss in the loss to Sudan. 0 goals in its last 4 World Cup qualifiers, plus a shutout already so far this tournament, and they really are due to score some goals. Okay, back to Germany, as I did so well here last week. Borussia Dortmund are hanging in there thanks to last week's late comeback win against Eintracht Frankfurt. 3 goals in 90 minutes was impressive, especially as Erling Haaland didn't score. The prodigy is all over the transfer news cycle right now, with Dortmund prepared to throw the kitchen sink, the bank, and the street the bank's on to re-sign him. But Freiberg are a pretty good side, 4th place and 7 back of Dortmund, having lost just once in its last 5. They also owned Dortmund earlier this season, so a draw at plus 375. All right, let's do that. Guaranteed money, people. Right, Albert?
I thought Bayern Munich was guaranteed money last week, James, but we were burned back. Mönchengladbach. You know what?
Let me tell you, pal. Listen, there are no guarantees in sport. No guarantees in sport, mate, and that's what we should remember. Yeah, I know. Last week really upset me because I got some pretty good results last week, and then the one that really let me down was Bayern Munich. Yeah, did my head in.
Same with me, and we talked about it. We said this could be a tricky fixture coming up after a break. Bayern, I think, had some injuries as well. No Manuel Neuer, so we learned from our lessons. But this is what happens with gambling. We give out the advice, we don't take it for whatever reason. But for this Dortmund match, it's another tricky one. But I like the draw. I love those odds. But I do like goals. Listen to this: Dortmund's home league games average a Bundesliga high of over 4 goals. So I like goals over 2.5 alone. I don't like the odds, but if you pair that up with both teams to score, you get around even money. So I do like that. One thing I want to ask you about, I'm very curious, is did you watch the Cristiano Ronaldo interview on Sky Sports recently?
I have seen parts of it. Yes, I have.
So he said some things. And one of those things being this quote, "This new generation doesn't accept criticism. If you don't want my help and my advice, then do your job. Look at yourself." And he said that many times. He's definitely saying something there. There's something going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, I know he mentioned also that the team's not too far off mentally where they need to be. So I'm not sure. He's been kind of conflicting there.
Yeah.
You know, I know Ronaldo's proven in the past to have some pretty thin skin himself. So I find it a little bit rich that he's calling out his teammates here a little bit for not listening to him, the great Cristiano Ronaldo. But on the flip side, these players, his teammates, need to listen to the great Cristiano Ronaldo because he's done it all, right? He is obviously a legend of the game. There's no one more professional than Cristiano, right? In world sport, perhaps. He's so conditioned. If you're a young player on United, you watch that guy and do what that guy is doing.
Yeah.
Because it obviously works for him. But there's seriously something wrong in the room there. I know they deny it, but enough insiders close to the Prem, close to that team say it's pretty poisonous in there. And so far, Ralph Rangnick hasn't got the job done. He's got points, yeah, but the performances aren't very, very good. There's talk that a lot of the players don't really respect him, which again is a major issue. So, whoever takes over this team in the summer, and there's rumors once again this week that it's going to be Pochettino, there's got to be a house clearing because there's some bad seeds there. And I think the biggest question right now is, does Ronaldo return next year, right, Albert? He signed up and it all made sense, I guess, according to the club when they signed him. But, he could also jettison to another league next season. We'll see.
I find it interesting that he did the interview because he doesn't really do interviews. So when he comes out and says something, he's usually saying something for a reason. But back to the game, I like Villa as well. I definitely wouldn't back Manchester United. No John McGinn is a bit of a concern for me because he tends to boss that midfield for Aston Villa. But if Coutinho comes on, I don't think he'll start. But coming off the bench, that's going to be a real boost, not only for their team, but Villa Park's going to be insane.
Yeah, this is a player that, not too many years ago was world-class and was a 140 million pound player going to Barcelona, and a player that Steven Gerrard knows so well. He played with him, of course, but he hasn't played in a month. He started just 5 games this season. He's come off the bench a few times for Barcelona, but not too often. Fitness is a huge thing, but I really think that presence. I mean, Villa's a big club, right? They've got a great storied history, big fan base, great stadium, but aren't considered a big club, which is a bit unfair. A Coutinho saying yes to them is a great statement and showing that Steven Gerrard has some pull, because if that was Dean Smith, still coaching that team, I don't think Coutinho comes. I think it's a great move, whether it's off the bench to start or whether it's starting in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, it's just a good piece of business, too. They have him on loan for the rest of the season. They're probably not paying his wages. I feel sorry for you, James. We'll end this thing soon. My bet for this game, though, is going to be Aston Villa. Draw no bet. I'm too scared to throw the money on the draw. So draw no bet plus 120. That's it for me in terms of betting. I'm not touching AFCON betting. Too much drama, too much controversy. I can't believe what happened there the other day. It's nonstop. And it's unfortunate because it's such a good tournament.
You know what? I think it gets a real lack of respect. Yeah. It is a great tournament. There's so much drama and theater. And the players, they just revere putting the shirts of their countries on, a real chance to give back to Africa and their countries within Africa. But because of the timing, and it's in January every few years, it gets looked down upon, I think, by the Euro snobbery, which is a real shame. You worry about it if World Cup goes to a 2-year cycle as well. But from a purely footballing standpoint, just give it a chance and watch it, because they're great players, great teams. In some cases, Senegal is a really great team, right? You're going to see players like Mo Salah bossing it for Egypt, and young guys, like I mentioned there, Pele for Guinea-Bissau. There are good young stars coming through. Give it a chance, watch it. But I agree with you, betting is a tough one with this tournament because you just never know. I mean, that game, my word, Albert. I mean, I've seen some bad refereeing in my time, but to screw up twice with the clock, I mean, my God. And then the red card was not a red card, even close to it.
No.
Controversial penalties as well. I mean, I guess it's theater, right? But it's not good for the respect level for African football.
No, I didn't know what to make of it. I don't know if he actually didn't know what he was doing. He was confused. Maybe he had just the best reservation at the best restaurant in town. He needed to get out of there, or the place was in. It was one of those, because I just can't imagine a professional referee, making that type of a mistake. Imagine that.
Well,
in the
there was
Premier
talk,
League,
right, that he hadn't stopped his watch, didn't stop it when
Oh,
the
God.
water break came, right? Which I guess, he's human error, mistakes happen, but surely someone else has their clock in the game and is in his ear, right? Surely. And they do it twice. The first time, okay, fair enough, embarrassing. But someone should have spoken to him and say, yeah, your watch is wrong. To then whistle again, 13 seconds before 90, when there
Yeah.
should be about 8 minutes of extra time. I mean, it's crazy. I hope that's all it was and nothing more sinister because, hey,
No,
there's
I
been
hope
talk
not.
about, match fixing in the past in this tournament. So,
No, that doesn't happen in this game, never. But the best part was after that whole debacle, he was so matter of fact with everybody. He wanted to talk to any of the managers, any of the players. He's just like walking off, get away from me, and just wanted to get straight off that pitch. One, he was either scared or he just really thought, hey, listen, this game's over. Let's just move on. But crazy
hey, man,
time for the AFCON
own
Cup.
your mistakes. Own your mistakes. The first rule of media: own your mistakes. I
Yes.
make many mistakes. You got to own them. So, referee, fess up.
All right, James. Good chatting with you. This has been Fast Money Football. Follow James at James Sharman. You can follow me on Twitter at The Real Albert V. Have a good Friday.